Hey everyone, it's Mary with Stamps-N-Lingers, and it is 7 o'clock on Saturday, which means it is time for a Facebook Live video. I'm going to go ahead and just do a quick refresh over here off screen so that I can see when y'all are joining up. All right, it looks like I am making waves out on the internet. Alrighty, so here is the card that I gave you the sneak peek of this morning, and it uses a couple of new things that you'll be able to get in January, unless of course you join now during this special, and you'll be able to get them with me on the 1st of December when the demonstrator pre-order starts. Hey Mary, hi Jewel, and Angie, and Patricia, and Rosie, and Carol, and Vicky, and Alicia. I appreciate y'all joining me and spending part of your weekend with me. Hey, Joan. Hi, Bree. And Nancy and Karen. All right, we're going to get started. So one of the best things about my team is that they are incredibly talented, and they regularly post amazing and awesome cards. And one of my teammates, Daryl Robbins, he put out a card that is called a Diamond Easel. So it caught my attention right away because easel cards are one of my very favorite things. Hello, everybody. Hey, Amy. Hi, Karen. And he sent me the directions to modify it from the original. He got the original fold from Lisa Curcio, and it was a square card. And I'm not a big fan of square cards. So he had, when he made his card, he had modified the instructions for a regular A2 card. Well, I looked at the instructions and I thought, okay, those are good. I like them. I like them a lot. But this morning, when I was cleaning the stalls, I got a great idea. I get a lot of good ideas when I'm cleaning stalls. I don't know. It's apparently it's a very creative time for me. So I thought, what if you could get a square card that was the same size as an A2 card? And my brain said, well, you can, because you could do a top fold card, which we've done before. So now all really this is a top fold card. You can see how that works. Remember this top fold? It can also be a side fold, depending on how you orientate everything. I say orientate with my tongue in cheek, so nobody flame me. I know that's not the word, but it's used so commonly. Hey, if irregardless can be in the dictionary, orientate probably will be soon, sadly. So I decided to do that, which meant I spent part of my day figuring out the dimensions to make this diamond work on what is essentially a 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 inch square. So I sacrificed many pieces of printer paper and came up with it. As I was about halfway through it, I thought, you know, Mary, you should have just used Daryl's directions and done that. But what fun is that? All right, so here it is. Here's the inside. This is an anniversary card, and it uses the uber cool new Love and Happiness sentiment set from the January to June 2022 mini catalog, which is coming out on the 4th of January. Look at these amazing sentiments. We've got anniversary, we have wedding, we have Valentine's, we have an engagement. Look at that. You're engaged. Here's to love and happiness. I like this. To the cutest couple ever. This is a really good sentiment set, and you are going to want it, I promise. And I'm not going to show you the very cool hybrid embossing folder that goes with it, but there is one, and you will probably see that in the very near future. But I didn't use it for this one, so I'm not going to show it. And then we have the Blessings of Home stamp set and dies, which I've been able to have for a minute because I'm a demonstrator and because I went to onstage. And so you have seen a couple of cards. Beautiful, beautiful florals. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. All of the die cuts will be on my blog tomorrow, so you do not need to write anything down. But let me show you what happens when you open it up. So we have A Wonderful Marriage is the collection of many small happy moments on the front. And then when you open it up, there's a sentiment up here at the top, says here's to another year of love, laughter, and happily ever after. And then when you set the easel up, you have happy anniversary. So how cute is that? And of course a bumblebee trinket, because bumblebees are always good. Hey guys, appreciate you coming up. Okay, so here we go. Hold your breath. Possibly I'll be able to make this and not bork it. It could happen. I mean, stranger things have happened. Got all the card cuts. There's going to be some coloring, so get ready. This may take me more than 30 minutes today. I apologize. All right, we're going to start with a 4 1/4 by 11 inch piece of thick basic white cardstock. And I am going to score and fold at 2 1/8, 4 1/4, and 5 1/2. All right, now while I'm here and it's real handy, I'm going to turn it long ways like so, and I'm going to mark the halfway point, which is 2 1/8. Okay, with just a little tiny, uh-oh, Jewel, I'm sorry that it's not working for you. Is everybody else doing okay? Give me a thumbs up if you've still got sound and video. Hopefully it's not a system-wide. Okay, it looks like it's okay. So Jewel, I'm not real sure what the deal is. It looks like everybody else has sound. All right, so you can see my little mark is in the shorter paneled section, okay, not the long one. This is the back, and you want to be making your cut up at the top. So all I'm going to do is, you've seen this before, it's like a thing. I'm going to put the little pencil mark in the cutting channel, and the first score line, remember this was at 2 1/8, I'm going to put the first score line in the cutting channel as well. And then I'm going to make sure I didn't just move it with my big old fat fingers right there. All right. And then we'll cut that like so. And you can just discard that unless you love keeping little triangles of cardstock, which I do not. I keep a lot of things, but not that. Okay, and then I'm just putting the mark back down here in the cutting channel and the 2 1/8 inch score line back in the cutting channel at the top, and give it another cut. Okay, so we have just made the triangle of that we need. Actually, it is a triangle, and this is going to be where our diamond is going. So I'm going to real quick grab my little eraser. I had a little mark showing there. All right. So now we'll go ahead and fold. We're folding as a valley at 5 1/2. We're score as another valley. Actually, this is a mountain, I guess, because it's opposite. Okay, that's at the 4 1/4 mark, and that's going to be what causes our book fold, our side fold, to happen. And then we will fold this one at, this is the 2 1/8 mark, and it's going to go as a, so it looks like this, okay? So mountain, valley, mountain. And we're going to give that a good burnish. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of matting and gluing and gluing and matting, and then we're going to do the gluing and the matting. Okay, here we go. All right, so everybody's good. It's a handkerchief point. That works. All right, yeah, it's looking like, I don't know what to say, Jewel. I'm sorry. I like to use liquid glue. And I'm just going to put liquid glue along this part. So that's between the 4 1/4 score and the 5 1/2 inch score. Okay. This should look pretty familiar. You've seen me make a side fold, which is going to be a top fold because of the way I'm going to orient the card. And we're just going to give that a little burnish and let it roll. Okay. And that can set aside and think about what it's doing. Now my two diamonds, there's a diamond on the inside and a diamond here on the front that's going to go like so. I'm just going to use some of the new Heart and Home DSP, and I'm going to use the wood. Now, I can tell you, you are more than welcome, if you want, to get head up by the fact that this is going to be a diagonal wood grain now. And if you do that, you can work it out. You can cut your DSP. What you need is a 2 3/4 inch piece square. You can make it so that it'll be all, you know, straight, but I decided I just didn't care. It doesn't matter. Wood can be on a diagonal, you know. I'm just saying it can. It can totally be on a diagonal. All right, so we'll go ahead and get those adhered. Like so. What's fun about this is that it really can let you showcase some very, very beautiful combinations of DSP. I mean, there's a lot of things fun about this card. I really like it a lot. All right. I'm so sorry, Jewel. Yeah, thank you so much, Amanda, for sending that across to Jewel. Hopefully she can get it fixed. All right, and so there's that. I'm just going to set it aside. Now, before I go too much, well, let's go ahead and do these. We'll just get them done. We'll just get them knocked out. Let's do that. Save that. So I've got the piece for the top small panel. I love, 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 love this DSP right here. This Misty Moonlight with the real light gray behind it is really a pretty design. And it's just geometric enough. What I was looking for with this card is this will be an anniversary card for a couple, right? Which in this particular couple is a husband-wife couple. And so I thought it needed to be a little bit masculine, but a little bit feminine as well. And so that's what I was kind of aiming for. And I kind of think I got it. I'm pretty happy with it, I say modestly to my fans. Okay, there's that. And then we'll do the same for the next panel up. All right. Well, I don't know how things are going for you guys. I hope you're having a great weekend so far. We have been working around the place today and doctoring the pony eye. It is, as I suspected, getting harder. She still comes running because, you know, peppermint. But she does these little, you know, jerks her head just at the wrong moment. So it makes it really hard to get the stuff in there. I'm like, well, I did try to tell y'all that it was going to happen. Nobody listens to the girl, though. Okay, so there's that. Now I'm gonna make some little triangles for the inside while I've got my glue and whatnot out. So let me get my trimmer back out. What I have here is some mats in Misty Moonlight, and these are 1 3/4 by 1 3/4, and I'm just going to cut them on the diagonal, okay, by sticking the points in the cutting channel and then cutting. And then I think we'll do the same on the second one. So basically you're taking 2 squares and creating your 4 triangles. It does kind of remind us of boho indigo, and that is also brought out by the really cool ribbon that is part of this suite, which is the denim ribbon, which I do believe was in the boho medley, which was amazing. Okay, now I have 2 small pieces of the DSP, and it is 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. Remember, I've told you when you're doing diagonals, you want a 1/4 inch difference between, you want, well, it's 1/8 of an inch. This is right. I hope this is right. If not, I've borked up my directions, which could certainly happen. It's been known, so let me double check. Let me double check this. Yes, that's correct. Okay. So 1 3/4 by 1 3/4 will mat nicely on the 1 7/8, or on the 2 inch. Oh, that's right. So I'm sorry, getting myself discombobulated, you guys. So the mats are 2 by 2, and the DSPs are 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. So when you're making your triangles and cutting on a diagonal, instead of having a 1/8 difference between your mat and your DSP, which is my normal tolerance, I want to go down a 1/4 inch. So 2 inch by 2 inch is the mat, and 1 3/4 by 1 3/4 is the DSP. And that creates a more normal looking margin, if you will, or border. All right, so we'll do this one right quick as well. And then we can set this aside. Okay. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and glue these up right quick, and I'm gonna use my tweezers so that I don't get glue all over everywhere, which I do. And of course, you could use the other side if you wanted. Lisa, when she made hers, she actually double matted everything, so she actually used another DSP. So she had a cardstock and then a DSP and a DSP, but her card ended up being 5 by 5, so everything was a little bigger dimension. And I thought with the smaller triangles that was just going to look not right. So I didn't do that. But if you like it, I believe you could just start with 2 by 2 for the mat, drop down to 1 3/4 by 1 3/4 for your first DSP, and then drop another quarter for the second DSP. But you can see how that's going to be really, really tiny. It's going to be so tiny, you might not even know it's there. All right. You know, whenever I've only made a card once, I always worry that I'm going to bork something up. I'm going to bork it up, and then I'm going to be like, oh, you guys, do what I say tomorrow on my blog when I can think through it, not what I did on the video. Alrighty, and there we go. So those are ready. Well, let me get that right. See, this is why you use liquid glue, so that you can get these things right. Get them right. Get them right. I like them right. Okie doke. Now, let's make some art. You can see that I have a flower image from the Blessings of Home set. And what I'm going to do is I've got a piece of basic white here. This one happens to be thick, but it doesn't need to be. It was just what I grabbed. I'm going to show you a little trick when we're going to color with blends. So I'm going to use my Stamparatus, and I'm going to stamp the image in basic gray. All right. Like so. And then I'm just going to leave that right in the Stamparatus and pull the panel out. And I'm going to go ahead and color. What I decided to do, because I'm amazing and wonderful and just so artistic, is I decided to use the Garden Green watercolor pencil, which is in the watercolor assortment 2, and just add a little bit of easy garden green to my leaves. Okay, so they're not going to be filled in completely. They're just going to be the idea that there is green there. Now, what I will tell you is these little watercolor pencils will, in fact, erase. I know this because I very carefully tried to color my flower green, which I'm sure there are green flowers, but it wasn't supposed to be for this particular flower. So I erased it, and then I colored it, and it was fine. And it was all good. Okay, so that's just the leaves. Now I'm going to take my light Misty Moonlight, and I'm going to color my flower. The big one, not the little one, just the big one. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to color in all the petals with the light blend. Try to remember that that's a different flower. Don't color there, Mary. And I also don't want to color the innards of that flower. I know there's some scientific name for the flower innards, but I don't know it. So it's just going to be the innards. Don't color the innards. Okay. And you can just kind of turn it, and I'm just leaving it in the Stamparatus. The truth of the matter is I could probably pull it out because this panel is stuck right up in the corner, but I'm not risking it, okay? You can't make me risk it. Just not gonna do it. Then I'm gonna take my dark blend, but I'm gonna use the bullet side. Hey, Michelle, appreciate you joining. And I'm gonna just add a little bit of dark shading where the Stampin' Up! Designers have put the dark shading. Okay, now I'll take my light Daffodil Delight and color the smaller flower. And all the little tiny flowers. Little tiny flowers. These are probably like phlox. I've decided these are phlox flowers. That sounds as good as anything. And then I'm also going to color the innards of this flower because I'm pretty sure innards are yellow. Then I'll take the dark Daffodil Delight blend. You see, my artistry knows no bounds. Thank goodness that Stampin' gave me some help here, because otherwise it would just be yellow. As it is, I can add some shading and some other beautifulnesses because they told me where to put it. All right. Hey, Sharon, appreciate you joining. Finally caught me live. Yay! Okay, now let me show you why I left it in the Stamparatus. The blends can kind of get rid of that gray. You have two choices. You could take the bullet point end of your basic gray Stampin' Write marker and color over, and I did that, and I'll probably do it on the envelope just because it's easier. Or you can stamp, 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 ink, 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 and hope that this didn't move, and stamp it back and get the color back. So I'm going to do that one more time just to get the middles. I want the shading in the blue flower to come out a little more. Okay, that's perfect. So I'm going to set that aside and let it dry good. Dry good. You know, get it dry and stuff. Alrighty. Now, I've got a sentiment here that's going to go. I've already cut it out. I'm going to go ahead and bannerize the ends of it while I wait for that to dry. And then I'm going to run it through my cutting machine with the die and cut out that pretty flower. All right. Remember, to make a banner, you just cut up from the center about as far as you want to go, and then cut from each corner to the middle. To the middle, like so. All right, let me go ahead and get this cut out right quick. This is the die that it uses. There's lots of dies to be used here. This large one cuts out the large image. I'll be right back. I mean, I'm not like going anywhere or anything, but I'll be back in a flash on screen. Just 1 minute. Pretend that the music is playing, or the Jeopardy music. Do, do, do. I would sing you a show tune right now, but I don't want to hurt anyone's ears. Any minute now, though, I may burst into song. Nah, probably not. Alrighty, so here we go. Here's our die cut flower. And we're going to put that on one of these diamonds. And I'm going to put some of this pretty denim ribbon on first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see my seal. I'm just going to put a little bit of seal, like 3 little daubers of seal. And I'm going to make a Z. Okay, this is making a Z. And I'm just using the seal to adhere the ribbon. And I can cut that now that I've got it pretty well laid out. Thanks, Karen. I'm glad you learned something. That is nice to know and nice to hear. And then we'll cut that there like so. We'll cut that there like so. All right. Give it a little push, and then I'll take some dimensionales, and you can see what it's going to do. This is the diamond will be pointed up like this, and I'm just going to lay it centerwise like so. I'm not going to get all jiggy with it. It's just going to be straight up and straight down. I'm going to make sure, hopefully I'll put my dimensionals where they belong. Oh, I did. It's like I meant to do it, except this one is a little bit showing. This one is a little bit showing. So I'm going to put it right here on the back. Sometimes my habit pattern is not really the most useful way to do business. In this case, it was easier to put at least a few of the dimensionals right on the die cut. Okay, so I'm having this straight up and down so I can see it real good like. And that is all I'm going to do with that right now. So before I get too much further, I'm going to make this panel here. Okay. And then I'm gonna, first I have to find it. Here we go. So this is just basic white. And I'm going to stamp my sentiment from Love and Happiness right here in Misty Moonlight. Misty Moonlight. Remember what I've told you? Always test your stamp one time and I try to use my grid paper so I have something to line up on, because I want to be sure it's actually going to be as straight as I think it's going to be, and it looks pretty good. I did a good job with the sticker, and they did a good job with the carving of the image onto the red. So we're all good. We're all cooking with gas. We'll just put this right here like this. Hold it for a beat. Don't rock the boat, baby. Rock the boat. Don't rock the boat, baby. Okay. It's a little bit crooked, but that's okay. It's art. It's art. It's handmade art. I think we're our own worst enemies, right? Okay. So we're going to use a little more liquid glue. You could use Seal on this. It's a pretty straightforward glue. But I've got the glue out. I'm kind of on a glue roll, if you will. Pick that up, pick that up, pick that up. There we go. And then if I get it messed up, I can fix it. Okay. Now we'll use a little more glue and put that on the back. Now I learned my lesson when I made the first one. I put the front diamond on ahead of time. Don't do that. Do it in this order that I'm doing it right here, okay? Trust me. It's a lot easier manipulating this card without your diamond on there. All right, so there we go. All right. Now, let's see, what are we at? We're almost to, you are having an impact on my vocabulary. There you go. See? Transmitilating. And they knew what that meant too, right? Okay. So now, on our inside, our innards, if you will, we're going to put this other matted diamond. The other matted diamond. And then these little guys are going to stick in the corners. Now, I was trying to think of the best way to tell you to do this, and I think I've come up with it. So the best way that I see to do it is to put your matted pieces in place. You kind of want the corners to be the basis of your innards, of the inside of your card. Okay? So put your corners in place. This is where the tweezers are really, really handy, because you can kind of move this around a little bit. And the other piece that I was looking at is when my card is closed, I wanted this to be about even on both sides. So about the same amount of blue here and here, and I did not want to be able to see the wood, okay? That was just me. It was just what I wanted to do, okay? So, okay. Now what I would do is pick up your triangles and adhere them first. Hey, Debbie. Hopefully your brain can catch up. And if not, the replay will be available when Facebook and YouTube get around to loading it up. So we're just going to keep this little square kind of in where it belongs. But really what I'm looking for is my normal kinds of borders here on the sides, right? Because that is, we still want it to be kind of normal. And by normal, I mean, you know, that 1/8 inch that I would normally have. Okay, so I've just got these two done, like so. And then I'm going to do the other two triangles. I can tell you what, it's a lot easier doing these triangles when they are DSP matted on cardstock than when they are printer paper. I can just tell you that for certain sure. Printer paper tends to be a little bit flimsy and move around if you look at it wrong. And also it's all white, and it was too much effort for me to color it, so I didn't. Okay, so there's our diamondes, and now I'm going to adhere my center. Those are triangles, those are not diamonds. I really did do okay in geometry. No, I do know. Now, what I want to do, this is just me, and you can do whatever you want. But you see how the wood grain is going this way on my diamond? I'm going to make the wood grain on this diamond go the other way, just because I can. You don't have to. You don't have to be weird like me, but that's what I decided to do. So, you know, you do you. And that's why all cards are different, and it's so very cool. Okay. So that looks good to me. I like it a lot, except I'm going to pull it just a little bit this way. There we go. All right. There. Perfect. Parfait, as they say in the industry. In some industry, somewhere. Okay. One last thing. I'm going to go ahead and adhere this, and I'm going to do this before I put my sentiment on. All right. Why did you do it? This was instead of a bigger square of DSP. Why did I do it this way instead of a bigger square of DSP? You mean with the triangles? Probably because that's how Lisa did it, and it kind of fit with the diamond pattern on the card. And because it was fun. Because I could. Okay, so now I'm just going to adhere this. You saw I put liquid glue on just this little flap. I'm going to try to keep that as even as I can. I'll lay that down and give it a little rest there for a second while I get a drink, because apparently I'm going to have a coughing fit. Okay. Whew. Dunske, that's a good one, Jenny. I like it. It's one of my favorites, which you probably know. Okay, so there we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and put my sentiment on, and I'm going to put it right here like this. So I'm going to put a dimensional on either side to support it, because the flower is on dimensionals, remember? So we'll put one right there and one right there. I'm going to put a little bit, just a little smidge of liquid glue under that ribbon right there. Otherwise, it'll just be flopping all around. And since I want it to hang on to my, oops, got a little bit busy. We had an old-fashioned shrimp boil for dinner that I made in my Instant Pot, which was amazing. And when we were at Sam's last time, we found shrimp that had no shells, no tails, nothing, just ready to cook. My goodness, what a luxury that was. Okay, so I'm going to make my card straight, and then I'm going to try to get this as centered up side to side with the diamond as I can. That looks pretty good. Okay. And I'm going to put my little bee on last. Okay, now, last thing. This one. This is my easel stop. You have to have an easel stop. If you have an easel, you must have an easel stop. What I did is I took this Happy Anniversary, My Love, which since I'm not sending it to anyone like my husband, My Love did not seem appropriate. So I took a couple of little tiny sticky notes and I covered My Love, and then I inked it in Misty Moonlight and stamped a piece of basic white. And then I cut it with the next to largest rectangle in the Stitched So Sweetly dies. Copy? Copy. And you can see it was on a piece of cardstock that I had already made an error on. Actually, it wasn't an error. It was testing to see which sentiment I wanted to use. And this is what I ended up with. I really, really, really like this sentiment right here. A Wonderful Marriage is the collection of many small happy moments, because I think that's probably true. Okay, so now to set your easel, get your dimensional covers off, stand your easel up the way you want it to stand, and then keep it inside this triangle. Diamond. This is a diamond. It will be a diamond forever. It's a diamond. Keep it inside the diamond, okay? So I'm going to use my tweezers, and I want it to stand right about there. And so now I'm going to try to make it straight and centered. Just like that. Boom, chakalaka. Okay? Now I'll add a couple of little bees and with some glue dots, and we can do our envelope. And I may not torture you by making you watch me color the envelope. I'll just do it and then tell you how I'm doing it. How about that? Or if you guys want to stay, you are welcome to stay. I won't turn it off until I'm done. And you can do whatever makes you happy. Okay, and then I'm going to put one more little bee on the easel stop. I love the bees so much. Oh, Tara, you definitely need to try an easel card. They're the best. And when you combine it with like this side fold, it's like awesome. Okay, this little bee needs to go this way. There we go. And there you have a very wonderful, I say modestly, easel card, easel anniversary card. Straighten out that. All right, there we go. Okay, so for my envelope, I am going to, I'm going to grab my stamp and put it on a block. Because that way, if you're sticking around, I can show you the other way of taking care of, well, I'm going to need a block. Where is my block? I had a block earlier that was the right size for this dude. It's a big stamp. It's a big stamp. Here, this one will work. Okay. So I'm just going to stamp him again in basic gray and color him. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. So we'll put this here like so. Do a quick color while I'm kind of waiting for it to dry. It's a little bit of delay tactics. Don't color that. That's a flower, Mary. That is not a leaf. It is a flower. It is a flower. You can tell because it's in the flower area. All right, there's another one in here. This one right here, I always miss it. I always miss it and have to go back. Okay. And, oh, see, here's some flower. Here's some lifts. Did I get those leaves? Yeah, I did on the other one. Sometimes I feel like I wake up with a new card every time I change where it's going. All right, so now back to my light misty moonlight. Listen, when you're doing an envelope like this, do not hard unless you put something inside your envelope, okay, to protect it from the back, because these Stampin' Blends will bleed, and if you push too hard, they will bleed right through to the back of your envelope. And there's nothing. Well, there are a lot of things that could be more discouraging than getting all done with your card and then looking and being like, oh dear, I have bleed through. Nobody likes bleed through. That didn't sound right, but I'm talking about Stampin' Dimension or blends, okay? So, yeah, nobody flame me for that. Alrighty, here we go. So I'll just do this. This is with the light again. And then I'll take the dark dimensional or blend. I'm going to say dimensional like 7 million times now. And I'm using the bullet end to add some blending on in the same place that I know that those smart Stampin' Up! Designers had put shading. And then we'll do Daffodil Delight, the light one. Thank you, everybody. I'm seeing some very nice words. I appreciate it. I was happy with how it turned out. Hopefully Daryl won't be disappointed that I didn't use his directions. I just thought, I really like a side fold card that I make into a top fold by, you know, turning it upside down, right side up, upside sideways. Okay, and then our dark blend. Add a little bit in. Like so. Isn't that so artsy? You're impressed. I know. You're like, my gosh. It's like watching Monet work. Oh. Okay. So if you didn't put your panel into your Stamparatus, take the bullet end, of your marker and kind of recreate those lines. Okay, because the blend does get them, it's not like smearing, but it kind of obscures. And this way you get that sharp, the sharp outline again of your flower. And you really only need to do, I think, the blue one because it's the one that disappears it the most. And you can see that that pops it right back into focus. If you want, you can do this yellow one. Mostly right around here where it intercepts that blue. Okay, so you get really the same kind of an effect, either with the Stamparatus, so color right in the Stamparatus and then re-stamp it after you have colored with your blends, or if you need to, you can just use the bullet end of the Stampin' White marker. Okay, thank you, Faye. And then I'm going to put some of this wood on the envelope flap, and this will be in the books, people, in the books. It'll be in the books. And on the blog, in the books and on the blog. Give it a little burnish. And the easiest fussy cut on the planet. Oops. Oops. A little more burnish. I did not burnish. I had a lack of burnishing there. Okay, here we go. A lot easier to cut it when it's actually holding on to the envelope flap. Now, did you guys know that you could actually stamp this? I'm going to do it because I can. Oh, Sharon, you are sweet. You are so sweet. I'm just going to show you this. I'm not going to color it. I'm just going to stamp it. See how pretty it is. How's that for gorgeous? I love that. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Love, 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 love. Love, 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 love. Okay, there we go, people. Here we have a easel card, diamond easel card, which means it's real ritzy, with a top fold to make an A2 card size into a square. Whoa, with the beautiful Blessings of Home bundle, which will be coming soon to you. All right, guys, y'all have a great weekend, and I appreciate you giving me an extra 15 minutes of your Saturday night. Enjoy yourselves. I will see you. You know what? I am not going to do a video at 1 o'clock on Thursday because it's Thanksgiving and I'm going to be cooking and eating. So I suggest y'all cook and eat on Thursday, and I will see you again on Saturday night for a Facebook. So again, no YouTube video on Thursday. There will also not be a Zoom the craft room on Thursday. No video, no Zoom on Thursday. Alrighty? Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. Bye.